Tri-State Area Classic Rock. TUVV.
Man, I'm really happy about you military people, man. You military YouTubers. You guys you guys aren't stopping, man. It's awesome. One of my oldest videos was actually it's actually one of my most shittiest videos I've ever done. And I'm not saying shitty, right? Like right now, I got all these lights and shit. I got a studio camera. I got two cameras and got this nice office and stuff. The studio. These old school videos that were just shot on an iPhone, they're making over 14K views, and it's crazy because it's about the quality of content that I was putting out for you guys, and you guys are really enjoying it, and that's what really makes me proud, and that's what honestly makes me feel like, dude, like we need to go back to the basics, right? We need to go back and deliver a promise of helping future soldiers out on the road that they want to do. But yeah, let me get started on one of those military stories. So here's a big story. I was about to tell you a bad story, but I can't say that because I'm still a little bit tied down to the military. And if I say something stupid, I might get, a little. I might have to have a talk with my commander, and he's gonna talk shit to me all day. So I better keep it cool. Oops, I dropped that shit. It's okay. We're gonna continue. So the first day of basic training was, I think, you spend a whole week at reception. And honestly, at reception, that's where you kind of get introduced to the whole military aspect. And that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of the video. If you guys are not interested in this, click out. I don't give a fuck. But this is pretty much the military thing. So, I got to the airport. From there, I ended up meeting two wonderful ladies who ended up being great friends to this day. But I met everybody at the airport. We got off. We took off. We landed in Columbia, South Carolina, and that's when we were actually introduced to one of the drill sergeants, young guy, but pretty much. Listen, people, if you need to use the bathroom, if you need to buy something, if you're hungry, I recommend that you stop by one of the kiosks, whether it's McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. Get yourself some food because you ain't going to eat food for a long time. And that's, unfortunately, I couldn't do that because when I landed, it was like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was pretty late at night. And there wasn't a lot, everything was closed. And so I ended up just, screw it, I'm going to use the restroom. The moment I went down the escalators, and this all happened in Columbia. We went down the escalators, and there he was. Everyone was quiet. Everyone was sitting down. The airport was empty, and there was a drill sergeant just sitting down, standing up, and greeting all the recruits with the best Army, and welcome to the Army reception. They pretty much yelled at us and told us to shut the hell up and don't talk to anybody. At this point, we still had our phones, right? We were allowed to talk. In fact, I was talking to one of the girls, on the via text, saying what's going on, what's going on with this, and I said, you know what, I YouTubed a lot of this stuff before. I think this is gonna happen. It ended up being true, but pretty much from the airport, we got on a bus, and we were introduced to a very, very particular drill sergeant who talked like this. Put it in a bag. Welcome to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. It was funny, but yeah, literally, no matter what happens, you guys are going to be put, dressed. If you're going in the winter, dress nice, all right? Have a nice fucking jacket. Have some nice sweatpants. Be warm because you're going to be outside for a long time. And again, for some reason, in the military, it is always colder in the military. For some fucking reason. In the army, you're always going to be cold. I don't know why that's the case, but dress good. Dress good for the occasion. So, anyways, we get to South Carolina. Now we're at Fort Jackson. We get off the bus. And again, no matter what happens, you guys are going to end up doing push-ups. That's the way it was. We got off the bus. We got in line. Females to the left. Males to the right. Untuck your pants if you're bumper to bumper boo. And anyways, we go on the right side. We followed directions. And then the guy was like, since you guys failed to meet the bus requirements of getting off, and you guys are not paying attention to detail, front leaning rest position, move! And yeah, so we all fucking just started fucking knocking away push-ups. And while we were doing push-ups, we got more instructions. We got up. The moment we got up, I didn't tell you to wipe your hands off. I didn't tell you to wipe your hands. Do push-ups. And I was like, God damn it. Like everything we're doing, we're getting fucking smoked. And long story short, from there, it was just a long freaking process at reception. Reception was crazy. I still remember reception like if it happened yesterday. And that shit happened like over 6 years ago. So just think about that. It's not, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it is a process. It is it's an experience that you'll never forget. It's not that it's bad, but it's good. I met really great people at reception that I ended up going off to, my company with. Pretty much everybody at reception, they're going to be in your company in basic training. So it's best you start getting along with people then, try to make connections, try to network, because at the end of the day, you guys are going to be separated, put into separate platoons. And in these platoons, you guys are, you're not going to have that same relationship you guys had before entering basic training. So in reception, try to make friends with everybody. Don't fight. What's the point? Because at the end of the day, you make an enemy. The enemy is going to be in your platoon, or who knows. It's just always good to network and be really good friends with everybody so you guys can jive and, have a good time at basic training. You guys can be amazing battle buddies. But, reception was crazy. I got there around like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. We didn't sleep. We did an all-nighter. I didn't sleep. I think I went like, I don't know. I woke up that day at 7 a.m. And I probably like 2 days of like not sleeping. It was crazy. And you were done. You're doing medical. You were doing finance. You were doing insurance. You were doing freaking wills, not wills, but you were doing like life insurance stuff, and you were going through everything in one freaking day, getting all your stuff, all your uniforms. That took place within 24 hours, and you were just like, it was a grind. It really was. Drill sergeants were tired, trainees were they were tired, and but it wasn't as bad. Remember, for reception, you keep your phone on. You keep your phone with you the whole entire time until you get to fucking BCT. Before that, you get your phone. There's a lot of downtime, which is great because it gives you time to reflect. It gives you time to talk to your loved ones. Reception isn't that bad. Reception is a place where you start getting to that mentality that, oh shit, life's about to change for me. And when it does, you should take it with a grain of salt. Everything you do, take it with a grain of salt. But when drill sergeants say something, they mean it for a reason. They want you to succeed, even though they look like assholes. They're the ones who end up. They want you to succeed, and so it's not that bad. You eat 3 times a day. What can you do? And the defect food, for me, it's not that bad. I didn't grow up with American food, so for me, it was great. It was just a different change of culinary. Different change of cuisine. I never had breakfast growing up. Never. like the bacon, eggs, and cheese, and the fucking oatmeal and all that stuff. I never had that. I didn't grow up with that. I didn't. I grew up with chilaquiles and like, I'd have a biscotti with an espresso. That was my breakfast. Maybe some fruit on the side. That was my breakfast growing up. So to actually have a full-blown American breakfast, for me, it was great. It really was. And I think breakfast is the best food in reception and even in basic training. So if you're worried about food, don't even worry about it. You're going to get fed really well because you can eat all you want. Not really, but you can attack your plate, fill that shit up, start eating like a pig. That's what I did the entire time. Full of energy. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, it was just a great time. And then I spoke about it in a couple other videos. In these certain videos that I spoke about, there is, unfortunately, there are people who end up dropping out and quitting before anything happens. And again, this is going back to that video where, don't be a quitter and stuff. Listen, you got to basic training. You got to reception. Just continue. Try it out. Don't give up on yourself too quick. It's very intimidating. I'm not going to lie. Basic training is super freaking intimidating. Being at reception is intimidating. It's a culture shock. It's a shock to your system, and you really don't know what's going to happen next. And that's what you're scared about, because it's true. And basic training, everyone knows what's going to happen, but they don't. That's the thing. You talk to your battle buddy, what's going to happen next? We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Listen, he doesn't know jack, all right? The only guidance you get is from your drill sergeants. That's it. So that's what really deters people, is not knowing. You're going into the unknown. You're going in blindly, and that's what basic training is about. Is trusting the guidance of your leaders to make good decisions for you. It's like that for a reason, but I don't know how it's like now. I know for me, we got off the bus. They took us from reception. About a mile away is the actual basic training, and I got to the company, to the battalion area. We got off the bus. We got shark attacked. All right, that doesn't happen anymore, unfortunately. I think it should still happen, but the Army does this thing. I don't know how it's like. People say that the Army got soft nowadays, so who knows? Maybe it's a different, kind of challenge. Maybe it's not as bad as when I went in through, through the whole thing. But I got shark attacked. I had drill sergeants, on my left and my right yelling at me. We had to, put our duffel bags above our head, but. Yeah, man, I fucked up big time, man. So what happened was I was YouTubing a lot of videos on basic training. And I remember in basic training, they used their duffel bags to put over their head. And so I said, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all my heavy shit in my laundry bag. I thought it was slick, right? Unfortunately, when I went and I got shark attacked, they swapped that whole thing around. So now it wasn't holding up your duffel bag. Now you're holding up your fucking laundry bag. So I put all my heavy shit in the laundry bag. So now I'm holding that shit on top of my head, trying not to touch the floor or my head in general. But yeah, that's the thing that killed me. I was like, holy damn, I screwed up. So you guys, even with this video, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Things can change. The video that I was watching on the shark attack was the shark attack from the previous year. And I thought that it was going to be the same. But no, they're always changing shit. The Army's always changing. I mean, out of topic here, but I made a video on how the Army was downsizing back in 2020. And yeah, it was true. I mean, with the whole COVID thing, a lot of soldiers got, kicked out. They were making a lot of NCOs get their bachelor's degree in order to make master sergeant and sergeant first class. And they put a lot of emphasis on education. And unfortunately, a lot of people ended up leaving that shouldn't have left to begin with, because with the whole downsizing that was happening. And now we have ourselves a big fucking problem in the military where we can't even get people to get into the military to recruit. We can't even retain soldiers. And now we got shit going on in Europe with Russia. We got a lot of problems going over there. We're not equipped to kind of go, we don't have the numbers in mind to actually go into a full out fucking conventional war. So again, things are always changing. Right now, the military is hurting for people. They're hurting for officers. They're hurting for privates. It doesn't really matter. They're just hurting for people. And a lot of people get deterred from that. They're like, oh man, I don't want to go into a organization that's hurting for people. That must be hurting for people for a specific reason. It must suck. It doesn't. It doesn't. Listen, guys, the military is not that bad. I'm telling you for experience, the military is not bad. All right? I had the most funnest times in my life as a private. Think about that for 1 second. For me, being a private was the best experience possible. What are you worried about? Listen, do what you got to do. Wear the right uniform. Get to the place at the right time. You'll be fine. And you honestly, you do have a blast. You have a blast all the time. You shouldn't worry about what's going on. Listen, the military is not that bad. The benefits that come out of that, I did a video on that. On the benefits of being in the military. Listen, it's not bad, all right? And I'm not working with recruiters. I'm not doing any of that bullshit. I'm just letting you know as a brother, trying to look out for you guys and gals. Don't worry about it. Seriously, just sign the dotted line. If this is for you, you're going to know. If not, suck it up for a couple 4 years and get out and become a veteran. Now you're fucking set for life. Believe me. Believe me. It's ridiculous how many people end up quitting before they even find out what the military is even about. So this is the video that people need to really pay attention to, because a lot of people get psyched out. And unfortunately, with the military, it's a very intimidating place to be in. But once you get, out of basic training, all that stuff, you'll realize that this probably was the best decision you ever made. Because you can use the military as a stepping stone. And that's great, Just don't be all freaked out. You're psyching yourself out at that point. You really are. I was freaked out, man. I was a 28-year-old fucking private going into basic training while everybody was like 19, 21, 20 years old. These kids were coming out straight from high school. They fucked up in college and they ended up, joining the military. And I was one of the few older ones there, and luckily I didn't look my age, and that was great because I blended in through the crowd. Some people looked fucking old at 28, and so they were, called Gramps and whatever. They got a lot of attention from the drill sergeants, but who gives a fuck? Listen, at the end of the day, we all graduate together, and what happened? I'm at where I'm at today, and that's the most important part, literally. But yeah.